All right, guys, the time has finally come. I decided I was going to reveal these on Instagram before YouTube. Kind of never done that before, but I'm glad I did. You guys liked them. Probably my most hated thing with this car when I bought it with the wheels. Obviously, I talked, and I pretty much consistently for every last video I've made, I've talked about how I hate these wheels. So I ended up switching. I finally upgraded wheels. I ended up going, when I say upgraded, technically I upgraded, but I downsized. So we're now rocking 18-inch wheels. And, well, here they are. The New Speed RS3 10 in gloss black. Hard to kind of tell. I decided out of all the nice days to film this video, let's shoot it on the rainy one. So, but you guys get an idea. It's an RS3 after all. We're in New England, Pete. You know, we have to have these kind of crappy weather videos ever so often, but here they are. So specs on these bad boys. These are the 8.5-inch width wheels. You can easily run a 9. I went 8.5 because I was super worried about it not. 9 is like your best fitment. So I would say, yeah, so 18 by 9. This is a 45 offset. I'm pretty sure even the 9-inch wheels are the also a 45 offset as well. I'm on 255 all around, so finely squared. None of this reverse staggered stuff. It's confusing. When I bring it to shops, it's even more confusing because they've never even seen that type of stuff before. I can't blame them. So, and we're running DWS 06 tires. So sidewall 35, 255 width, and yeah, obviously 18. So initial impressions, aside from it just looking so freaking amazing, is the fact that this thing weighs a lot less now as far as rolling mass. These wheels, I want to say, come in at like 8, that's a lie, right, or just under 20 pounds, I believe. The tires actually are pretty heavy, being all seasons, but these are my favorite tires ever. They're pretty plentiful when it comes to performance. The only thing I think they lack is, at least I found the limit of their braking ability, but cornering ability, you know, compared to my last tires were like the type where you have to get pretty, you know, toasty to have them at least be functional. And these tires, I mean, I just don't drive my cars enough to be able to utilize a true kind of performance tire. Plus, I hated those tires in the wet. I mean, in this weather, if I were to accelerate this car, it would just understeer, and I would be involved with a very bad crash. So, yeah, but obviously, guys, everything is pretty much the same with the car. I really haven't even done a walk around. I'm so bad at YouTube at this point, guys. still I'm around, still making videos, but I need to be a little bit more consistent and kind of showing you guys the car, because I am really happy with how it came out. I wasn't the biggest fan of the RS3 when it came out. It's an A3 with a Daza at the end of the day. It's Audi's laziest RS model, but I really think if you lower it a little bit, which I'll admit, I think I could use a little more low. You guys probably would agree. However, the ride is so good. It's almost too good. I hate to say that, but it is. It's truly a really nice ride. So ride is really good. You know, cornering ability. It just, everything's, it's a plus. It's such a plus. Plus, like, as far as like acceleration, I feel a minor difference. It's nothing too crazy, but it's enough where you're like, all right, well, that justifies the purchase. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm really happy with that. I think this car actually might do a front lip for. Side skirts kind of feels weird to do side skirts just because it has beautiful painted skirts. I know a lot of people throw skirts on them. But anyway, this video is kind of touching on the wheels. So I figured we'll bring ourselves back to an old spot, right? This is back when I was just in school. We used to come out here and film. We did collabs, we did, you know, POV drives, and you guys are loving the POV drives, especially with this car and the exhaust. Can't blame you. It's a little wet. I'm not going to go too crazy. This initial road is also pretty tight, so please be mindful of that. I'm not going to go too crazy until we get onto kind of the main twisty. All right, getting lux. I like it. So you guys know I like to start off in kind of quiet mode and show you guys the difference between quiet and not quiet, because there is a difference. Another thing you guys are probably noticing is every time I do one of these videos, I like to kind of do the G meter and this, so it shows my miles, and I'm tacking on miles like crazy in this car. I went to Portland. I went to Portland, Maine on Saturday, and then last night I visited my folks up in North Conway. I was actually planning on making a video, but the weather was pretty miserable, so I didn't, and I decided I was gonna film today, which the worst thing about today is even worse. So, all right, valve open, let's have fun. I'll do that just for now until we get onto kind of the main twisties, just so you guys can hear, because this thing is an absolute monster. And let's actually do window closed. Yeah. So things that I've noticed with just having this car, living with this car, is there's a lot of cool ways to make noise, different types of noises too. I mean, it's awesome. It's like the grown-up version of the DSG burp. I know a lot of people kind of like go out of their way to make that sound, you know, slow down and you know, first gear it. I don't really like to do that in my cars anymore. I grew up a little bit, but there's new things I can do now with this thing, which is kind of neat. First and foremost, this is like the laziest way to get some gnarly sounds, and it's pretty you know, every so often when it does it, but if you put it in sport auto, it does sometimes these nasty downshifts where it sounds like a PDK and it shifts like a PDK. I don't understand this transmission, how it's like really fast but also like sometimes kind of slow. Thank you sir, very nice cute dog in the back, you can't go wrong. But you guys can hear just how it echoes off the trees. This is so loud for just a catback. I am just so impressed. So all exhaust leaks should be fixed. You know, that was a bit of an absolute headache, I'll tell you, but we got it done. A lot of it was just me being kind of just quick with it. You know, we're right when you install an exhaust, you know, if it's taking a little bit longer, kind of towards the end, you start skipping some corners and missing corners, and yeah. Oh, let's see if I can get it to third. I hate to go kind of quick through here, but let's see. All right, and then there we go. Those are one of the sounds that I like, the crackles. I like those. Let's kill traction. And I think I'm going to, we'll leave that open for now. You guys probably remember this. This is where we used the straightaway, the one where there's not too many houses, and you know, I know there's, yeah, bikers, whatever, but there's just never bikers on this. And if there are, you know, you don't do it around a blind corner. You make sure when you're entering a new part of the road, you're sort of doing relative near the speed limit. So, you know, I know with the rain it's kind of dreary, but this is what you expect with fall. So, I don't know. I don't know. Another amazing sound is the downshift. Like, if you downshift and you just give it a little bit of throttle early, but not floor it, you can really kind of get this sick downshift. I think that what that is probably doing is just maintaining boost. I don't know if it's great for the car. I don't do it really at all, but I learned it the other day and I'm like, oh, that's a neat trick. I like that one. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily good or bad for the car, but it's a sweet sound. It's like I actually think the Huracan does the same exact thing. Back when we used to do driving instructing, you know, school for some folks, it was you know, we had Gallardos. I would say it's probably pretty reminiscent of the Gallardo downshift, especially if you tap the throttle, do the same exact thing. It's kind of cool. But all right, enough talking. You guys. Yeah, enough said. Just let the car talk, right? My God, this thing is just an absolute menace. Oh my God. So I will say, with the RS3 compared to, like, let's just close this, but the RS3 compared to the Volkswagens, you know, the GTI, I would say the R handled better than the GTI. I know it's heavier, but I did so much more to it. Like, lowered it, the sway bars, you know, the front, rear, even like the gusset bar. Like, I feel like a lot of that stuff helped the Golf R, you know, in every possible way. The end links, all that stuff, you know. So this thing does not handle as good as the Golf R. Maybe it's getting closer now, and obviously I don't have sway bars, and when I put them in, I bet you they would, this would probably be decent, but it just feels pretty front heavy, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's a great car, but it feels like it's kind of just like, I don't know, like it's just digging into the front tires every corner. And I know you can kind of manipulate that with weight transfer and so on, but you know, I don't know. It's just, it doesn't have any soul, I'll tell you that. It's not a great, like You know, it's just not a cornering car. And I don't think Audi intended it to be truly that. You know, the Haldex does a good job, not a great job. You know, like that corner, for instance, I could feel it turn in as I'm giving acceleration, but at the same time, it's kind of like this, like, it's unbalanced, I guess is the way to describe it. I don't know. All right, that's driving me nuts. You, in there, you go. All right, let's see what we can do. Yeah, you know, it's just dead. It's really hard kind of finding a sweet spot. And maybe it's just the steering, but like, I also can, it just feels heavy. It's, you know, I'm complaining. I know there's a lot of things that like are really amazing about this car. It's just when it comes to kind of that like really like to the limit, you know, it can do it. It's just, it's not a really rewarding feeling. And I'll make a video at some point kind of explaining my feelings of kind of how this car truly handles, because at the end of the day, it's the quickest car I've ever driven, for sure. I wouldn't say driven, but it's probably one of the quickest, well, it's the quickest car I've owned. I'll start there. As far as driven, there's definitely some quick ones, you know, but this is up there. It's just, like I said, it's just lacking that, that kind of that raw feeling that, you know, even like the Golf R did a decent job of doing. Now, one thing, just for you guys, I know you guys like when I do this type of stuff, and I don't mind doing it every so often, but let's see how good this Haldex is. All right, well, it's like, it feels like a support system. It's not necessarily like a, it doesn't take the whole role of oversteer. It's kind of funny. It's, you know, it keeps you in check. It's not bad, and honestly, that was pretty good because I really didn't understeer. So, yeah. New wheels, guys. Freaking excited about it. I might throw spacers on it. That's another thing, too. I might. I mentioned that it doesn't look low enough, but that's okay. As long as the wheels kind of have some poke. That's what gives this car kind of that wide look. 8Vs look actually pretty okay. It's just, like I said, the bummer is the RS3 looks like an A3, you know? So... not a bad thing. I think A3s, like I said, they look really good, especially when they're lowered, and ideally on 18-inch wheels. I think these cars only look solid on 18s. There's some nice 19s out there, but it's just such a small chassis. I don't know. All right, one last pull for y'all. Yeah. Jeez, I'm crow. You're an angry little Jetta. It's gonna piss some people off, that comment, but I don't care. It's kind of what it is. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. You guys have been crushing the support on the last two. I think we're gonna do more POV drives. We'll, you know, implement some other stuff too. I like doing install videos, but right now, pretty happy with where the car is. I, you know, might throw an inlet in. I might do the intercooler. I gotta do spark plugs. Pretty bad, actually. So I'll probably do that at some point. Don't know if I'll make a video on that. Simple maintenance, yeah, you guys seen that it's on the internet, you know, but when it comes to the fun stuff, you know, I like to film that stuff, so we'll see, time will tell. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna end it there. I appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace and love.